Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it is a wonderful day to be creating with you. Today I am actually sharing 5 separate videos. I will make sure they're all linked as they are part of a series, and I'll put those links in the description of the video, but I'm sharing card 3 of our awesome 50 card workshop card set here. So you make 10 of each of these cards. Each has their own wonderful features. There's 2 ways to make the cards. You can do them more of a base level to get through the cards, and then you can start adding little things to kind of pick them up and take them up to a top shelf level, like adding the 1/8 of an inch of gold glitter and doing a shaker card and all. But we are going to do card 3, this sweet little one right here. And all of these cards feature our holiday banners, stamp and thin cut set, and our ta-da, Christmas florals, embossing folder, and stencil set. And what I really love is that I was able to, with close to my heart's help, because I used the idea book for a lot of inspiration for these. The artwork in our idea books are amazing. I absolutely love them. And so I remixed them. I added an extra one, and it just ended up working out. Now, there's a full supply list available, as well as a guide to cut all of these with lots of extras. Let's go ahead and do card 3. And I'll put links down in the description of the video. Okay, I've already done card 1 and 2, and they're available. So we're going to be focusing on some different techniques with this. One of the things I've done is all my thin cutting and all my stamping. For this one here, it's simply stamped in pine, the banner as well as the Merry Christmas. And I've already done some stamping, so we'll go ahead and let that go and focus on some other techniques that we have for this video. We finally get to stencil, so that's pretty exciting. Okay, let's work on our little piece that we have right here. This is our front focal piece. It's the French vanilla that you see right here. Okay, and I'm going to be adding the gold glitter to all of my cards. I cut 1/8 of an inch gold glitter strips like this out of whatever scraps I had. I also, this one here, you can't do, but on the other 2 videos, I've also shared how you can just use pieces to even cut the amount of glitter you're using back, but it's 1/8 of an inch, and 1 pack of glitter paper, you're going to have so much. All right, so we're going to focus on this little piece here. We're going to grab our toffee and a blending brush, and we are just going to very lightly add some toffee right to the center. And I don't want it to be circular, so I'm going to kind of come up here a little bit. I don't want it to be like a perfect circle, and maybe down here a little bit. There we go. Just a nice light hue of color. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to grab that gold glitter, and we're going to put this across the center. Those of you who have been crafting with me for a while, I'm sure you all just went, oh, she left the thing out of her glue again. I'm always leaving the pin out of my glue. Always, always, right? Okay, so this is just going to go right across the center. And then we're going to just let that sit aside and dry for a minute. We still have some fun to have with that one. While that is setting, I'm going to grab the 3 holly berries that are right here. And I'm going to put that on my 1x Wonder acrylic block. I call it a 1x Wonder because it's a wonder how it works for all of the little decorative stamps better than any other thing. It's so much, it's well worth. All right, we have got some fun stenciling to do. This one we're going to be stenciling with pine, but as we stencil with the pine, using different amount of inks and different amounts of pressure, we're going to get different looks, okay? All right, so I have my cut mix-in piece right here. One thing I want to mention, in the guide, this is a bigger piece, so we couldn't get 10 of these out of the 1 sheet of mix-ins, and I really wanted to do 1 pack. I was excited to be able to do that. So what I did is I had you do 8 out of this and then 2 on the gray, and I just want to show you how well it ended up working. This is the mink, the light gray mix-in, which is our mink. And this is the lighter tone of the mix-ins. And you can see that they equally look fabulous. So when you see that in your cut guide, no worries, they're going to come out great. All right. There is no embossing on this one, so we won't be using the embossing folder, but we are going to use the stencils, and we're going to use all of the stencils with just green. Okay, grab our green brush. There we go. And our pine ink, that's our green for this kit, is our awesome pine ink. And we are going to make magic. All right, we're going to start with our the poinsettia cut one. Now my my stencils have gotten a little bit of love, so they're a little easier to see. All right, I'm just going to line this up, and you can line it up however you would like. I'm going to be using some washi tape to hold my piece down because we're not masking, we're securing it down. And I will hold it with my hand, and I will get all kinds of inky doing this. I find that if you use more of a middle instead of the very edge, that you're able to tape it better. So that's why I chose to have my stencil on the smaller piece here, just over a little bit. Okay, grab our pine. We're going to put a little on our brush and then rub it off. We want to make sure that we have a very, very light color. We can add more, but we can't take away. Nice and soft, holding it down. You can always wear gloves too. We're looking for the lightest layer of our pine green on this this pass. Okay, here we go. Always rubbing it off. It should just be a soft green when we're done. Make sure you get in all those circles. I just have it taped down. And I'm holding it with my fingers, and I never mind getting inky. I always feel, I don't know, I feel like, oh, look, I created. But I do have latex gloves. Well, they're not latex. They're the non-latex. Latex and me don't get along, but I do have those in case I ever need to worry about it. All right, I'm going to add a little bit extra of the green, that pine, just layering it in now, just using my brush and just going over again and again. I want to make sure I do not darken it too much. Okay, looks good. We'll go ahead and we'll peel it up, try to leave that washi tape in place, because as you're doing these cards, you'll be able to just put it back down for all 10 cards. Look how soft and pretty that is. And you can get different gradients of color on this and depths of color, because it's about pressure and just lining those up. I'm going to put this aside, but I am going to just mention cleaning your stencils. So it is good to clean your stencils after each use. If you're doing all of these 10 back to back, you can just, try to lay it carefully, but you always want to watch, because some ink is around the edges and stuff like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to layer 2 of our stencil, our same piece and layer 2. I liked doing all of these in a bulk because I knew my ink had dried really well and it was good to go. Okay, so for this one, we're going to put the next one down, and we have the poinsettias to line up. I've already marked all my stencils with the front after lining them up, and I double mark my stencils. I know that you only need one. It just works for me. You just have to figure out what works for you. I do double mark my stencils. I'm going to use for this the little centers of the poinsettia here at the top and the bottom first. And then I'm going to make sure that the little berries are lined up with that. There's another center to my poinsettias there and there. And I'm just lightly sliding it where I need to slide it till it's where I want it to be. I'm going to be using the washi tape off of my other stencil only because I'm done with it. If I was doing all 10, I would, of course, just keep that on there until it was done and then probably get rid of it because it would have lots of ink on it. There we go. I just have a piece of plastic aside to put this on. Oops, this one. Piece of plastic aside to put that on. Craft mat works great too. All right, we're going again with this, and we want this nice and light. You can choose to go a little bit darker or keep it as light as you had it. I'm going to be going a little bit darker and also focusing on getting the inside of the poinsettias. So they'll be a little darker just by using more ink and more pressure. Okay, I keep touching the wrong part of my stamp pad. There we go. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and do the leaves, the branches, and everything else. I think always working in circles seem to get the ink better in my stencils than any other movement, but I will often just kind of go back and forth with my brush just to kind of get that a little bit of that extra ink off of there so that I can work that in. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. There we have color 2. So you can see what's happened is our first layer is a little bit lighter than our second layer because that one's a little darker. Now we're going to go even darker than that. All right, we'll grab our final stencil and let's line that up. And for this, the petals of the poinsettia are a great way to line it up. And you're going to want to make sure, and the leaves as well, but you're going to want to make sure that you kind of move it because your piece might not be perfectly straight. It's more important that your stencil, the design be lined up than it is for your piece to be, you know, laid out straight or anything like that. You want your finished product to look good. Okay. I'm a little off. I must have just slightly bumped it. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go back into the pine. We want more pine and we want to use more pressure. So, you know, just keep adding. You can add more, but you can't take away. So kind of just keep, you know, adding a little bit more, getting that darker tone. And the more you do this, one of the things that I loved about this workshop is that we got to play. So you got to create the cards again and again. So with that, it meant that you were able to try different pressures, different techniques on each one, how much ink you liked. If you wanted to go softer, I tried one with super dark leaves on the shaker card and it was my least favorite, but it's still a card and I still made it. But it color-wise, when it was done, it was my least favorite. I also did some that were just too light for me, so I found the best way to do them by creating and trying different things with each one. Okay, you can see I've picked some ink up here, and we want that. All of the edges of this are inked. I did that because our stencil finishes at 5.5, and our card piece finishes at 5.5, so we didn't want to have this off, you know, kind of harshly cut off. So we're going to now take our blending brush and just go around the edges, and you might have enough on there, you might need to get some more. Probably going to need a little bit more for myself here. So if you already have some on the one edge, maybe blend it out just a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and phase some color in all around this, just doing little circles on the edge. And it really does end up softening it. There we go. Okay. How pretty is that? So one ink was able to get all 3 of those colors plus that nice hue of color that goes all the way around it. All right. We're going to go ahead and finish off our front focal piece. I'm going to wipe my fingers off really quickly. There we go. We'll snip this off. And these are, you know, these are all extras. I'm going to grab my journaling pen, and I like my journaling lines to look very rough. This is like a stop and start. It's an interrupted, like doodle. is what it is, not a journal line. And I like my journaling lines to look like I drew them. So I do not want mine nice and straight. If you would like yours to be super straight, grab that ruler. I always joke and say if I wanted them to be super straight lines, I would have the Cricut do it for me. All right, but actually I've created so many custom cuts just for that purpose. There we go. Okay, little black line there, and we are good to go. Okay, we'll put this without foam tape onto our sage mat. All right, and I'm going to show you another variation with this card. On this card here, you can see that the sentiment is stamped on the light side of sage, and on this one, it's on the dark side of sage. It's a personal preference. You can do, you know, whichever you would like. Okay, before I do my stamping, I realized I wanted to add a little bit of color to the base of my holly leaves. So the base of the holly leaf is the one that has the more pronounced point. We're gonna just hit that with our brush that we just used. And then if you want to go around it a little bit, you can add a little bit around it. You can add as much. You color the whole thing in if you want. It's just more fun. All right. We're going to grab our card base. And for this card base, we don't have the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 mat because we're covering the entire card with our card pieces that are cut for this workshop. Okay. I was really inspired by the artwork, and I love, I mean, the artwork is just unbelievable that they're always giving us. All right, and then we have our pine piece from the mix-ins, just adding more pine. But you can see that lighter color is kind of, you know, closer to the sage, so we were able to bring that in as well. We'll add the toffee stripe. You can always flip your pieces over if you'd like. We have that awesome two-sided paper. All right, our final piece done. We're gonna put this one on foam tape. Oh, let's stamp it first. We have to do our little hollyberry stamp. I'm just going to use the little protector that comes with our stamp set so I don't flip my Versamat again. Okay, and this is really not that big of a deal. You're going to come off from it. It's very forgiving. It's very, very forgiving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 facing the corner and then 1 coming out. So see, the 2 are facing the corner and then 1 is coming out with that. And wherever you stamp it, that's where it's going to be. You might want to move them with each card, but you'll see that it works. So I just put that in the upper corner just like that. All right. And now we'll go ahead and put that on some foam tape. And if you decide to do the shaker cards, you'll have so much foam tape left over. I had tons of foam tape left over. I know I over foam tape. It's a real issue. All right. We're almost done. So this is my 3rd video in the series, and I love all the cards. I think each one features something different. I really liked this one, how we just used 1 color, but we achieved kind of 3 colors. All right, when we put this down, we are going to want to make sure that it crosses all 3 papers. So you want to put it in the center, but you want it to touch, you know, all 3 papers. So I love all the different techniques, but our next card does feature a shaker card, and I've already made it once for a Sunday Live when I introduced that I was doing this, but I get to do another one, and I'm always happy to do shaker cards. Basically, you want that gold piece. If you've upped your cards to do the gold, you just want that gold piece right in between the 2. All right, there it goes. And I want to support the tips. Since this is on foam tape, I want to support the tips of my holly leaves only. So we're going to add a little piece of foam tape to the tips of it. But then we're going to put regular adhesive on the bottom so that when we put these on, that foam tape will lift them to the same level, but we will still be able to secure them to our front focal piece there. Okay, and they're just kind of coming out of the berries there, just like that. There you go. Just more of that pretty color that is with all of this. Let's grab our red dots and finish this one off. Okay, so as you work through all your dots, you're going to use the scarlet and the candy apple for the dots, but as you make more cards, I used the stars on the papaya. You may find that you want to mix that up a little bit more if you're making more cards, so just kind of keep that in mind. We're going to hide a large dot. It allows us to use the big dot and it not become overbearing, so we're going to kind of tuck it a little under. And then you can add a medium or a small. I'll put a medium on this one just so that you can see that it works. And there you go. And you can also do one scarlet and one candy apple. You can mix them. And I'm going to show you the batch of cards I made. But look, we're done. Here you go. Super cute, super simple, so great. And with 5 designs, if you wanted to make this workshop multiple times, you really just need the papers and the bling, because you would be using the same stamp set and your same embossing folder and your same stencils. Okay, so now I can grab my wonderful basket of cards and add these to the collection I made of these that are right here. So here's the collection that I got. This one here, I did a little bit more toffee in the background and no ink to see if I would like it. And you can see the subtle changes I made. There you go. Just kind of kept that one the same. This one here, doing different doodle lines, doing different colors, working with the gray, working with that. I found that you can see that I did not start inking my leaves until the end, and I liked that the best. So I would love to go back and ink all my leaves, but guess what? I'm going to let them go. So I showed you that extra little, take them up a notch with the extra ink, and I think it adds something. You can see there, it just adds a little something. I want to thank you guys for letting me create with you today. I will be able to go ahead and put my cards away, and I hope you're joining me for this entire series. I will put the links to all of these down in the description, as well as information on the guide and how to get the supply list and everything for that, so you can craft these 50 cards. I can't believe we're doing card making in October. I'm so excited. Thanks for joining me. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I do appreciate your support, and it goes a long way here in the YouTube community. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day. Bye-bye.